what's been working for you, man? I mean, the dad funnel thing, like obviously I saw you tipped over 200 members. That's freaking sweet, right? So how do you feel like is there any is there any bit of you that still is just like, oh my gosh, how is this possible type stuff, or has that worn off? Like I'd be curious your mental on that.
Yeah. I mean, I think for me, it's mostly looking at not so much I can't believe it, but how does it feel?
Mm,
Like, when, I don't know, you like playing basketball and you go watch a football game, you're like, that feels a bit out of my league or whatever. For me, I always thought, working with 50 clients in a year, all of that was fun. And now at 200, I'm like, oh, there's different energy to this container. I'm still
yeah,
obviously keeping my more intimate proximity stuff, but more than that, it has been how do you change as a leader? Because I don't want it to be me versus you. I want it to be we're all on the same level. So enforcing those dynamics through the onboarding stuff we chatted last time, like understanding how to set expectations from the get-go and also gamify bits and pieces because at 200 they react sociologically differently than when it's like three people in the room. So that was sort of one side. And the other side that I'm seeing, which you may have some insight on this, is overall, like the market is maturing. It's not like 2023, everything's flying, in terms of growth, LinkedIn
mm,
and carousels, and you can literally have a photo of a duck in a carousel and that would go viral. Um,
anything, yeah.
Markets being more mature, I'm sort of just, as I usually do, look from afar and go, what's going on here? So there's a lot of people either fizzling out, being forgotten, or like losing motivation. And then there's other people doing what we always did best, which is form little communities and form deeper relationships from human to human instead of like AI or bots or ads or whatever, just going for the human, which I've seen you do. I've sort of flipped it on its head and gone, the market's oversaturated with good consultants, coaches, mentors, advisors, whatever. And
Yeah.
there's been a slow spin towards done for you. Like people just want the results. So I'm like, oh, well, we always talk about the proximity offer and the ladder and go really high up and start making offers where you now rolling your sleeves up. Because, with the baby, I can work at 9 p.m. if I have to,
Mm,
when
yeah.
she's asleep or before she's awake versus having all those stacked calls. So I'm noticing there's been more demand on actual, like, just do the thing, which is agency style.
Yeah.
So I've been exploring that. And then, obviously just with one or two clients. But on the low ticket stuff, that's where the funnest chapter has begun, whether I think it was a bit unintentional.
Yeah.
Because I'm
I mean,
like,
it suits your email a day thing, right? Where I feel that probably was I could just be guessing here, but I feel like that was kind of a result of you're just so playful with it. You're like, well, if I'm writing an email a day, why not? You know what I mean? But I could be reaching.
yeah, no, no, it's exactly that. I'm just seeing like the lead magnet days where you used to just get people through, and I'm just like, why don't you just send them to a checkout page instead of a lead magnet? Get less people, but more of the right people, and then make them little offers here and there. I'm also seeing other people we know, or sort of the market as a whole, trying to, because, reaches down or this or that. And I'm like, just make them an offer. $5. It's $5. A customer's a customer. You change the relationship over that. So when we run little ads and things, it's been so much funner talking to people who've transacted with you
Yeah.
than not. Because then I'm like, what did you buy? What else do you need? Or what else can I give you to help you?
Yeah.
Versus before, it was sort of like I got a big pool of people, but I don't even know what you're going to buy or if you're ever going to buy.
Yeah. Would you say that? I mean, I feel like that just focuses up. Obviously, there's front end kind of testing and seeing what people want and that sort of stuff. But the moment they transact, I think the back end side of that is so focused. It's very obvious. It's like, hey, you bought this and you can do it basically one of two ways. You can automate it, i.e. sequence, hey, here's also this thing and here's also this thing. And of course, you
Hmm.
can do elements of that with this other thing. But like if you're early on and someone transacts with you, like I'm getting that a little bit more. I definitely haven't fully committed to low ticket stuff. Um, but pretty much every single product I have maybe like four or five. And again, I just kind of threw it in there and not really thinking. I'm in make a mess mode really because I haven't fully committed to it. But even with that, in the right kind of energy and resonance in your content, every single product but one I think has like been purchased at least once,
Yeah.
right? Which is just kind of for not putting a ton of effort into it and I was already doing it for the community. It's like a no-brainer, like, okay, sweet, I'm gonna get paid. But the focus on your end, and if you want to go the low ticket route, seems so freaking obvious, even in the beginning, like in my stage. Anybody who transacts who's not an actual client, now I have their email. I can just send them a personal email, be
Yeah.
like, yo, for me, I grab coffee, right? So I'd be like, yo, I'm grabbing coffee with anybody who buys something from me just to chat, see what's up.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's a great way to say yes because they've already said yes, right, to something else.
Yeah, they'll take the call because they already paid and I buy people coffee. So that's the bonus. You know what I mean? But it's like, I feel like if let me ask you this question because whoever watches this could be thinking, oh, low ticket products is the way. Like they go like full commit. They're not asking the alignment question, like, would low ticket products align with me? It just sounds
Mhm.
so good of, hey, people are, buying your $5 thing and then they turn into a modern maker client and that's great and all that sort of stuff, right? But is there an element of interest beware in that you have an audience of, let's say, combined, 50, 60,000 people, and say one of my core clients who might have an audience of only like 2,000 people.
Yeah, that's a really good question because if you remember when we first got in on the LinkedIn bandwagon, it was always high ticket. Like go to depth, go to intimacy, go to one-on-one. That's where it was much easier to monetize a service or coaching or mentorship. And over time, you learn to do what you just said. Like I'm creating assets for my clients. So how can I turn that asset into a modality or sell it to create a customer? You wouldn't be able to do that if you didn't have clients to serve. Otherwise, you're sort of throwing spaghetti on a wall going, is this going to be bought? But if an existing client's asking for it, then that's already pre-validation that you now have, a digital product. I was always a firm believer since the beginning, right? Like you can earn a living on just digital products, but you need a lot of volume. You need to like ad spend, you need a bigger audience, whether you've grown it or not. If you're not doing that, then I would 100% go down services and then bolt on products on top of what you're already doing. Like for me, it's always and still is the case. Like I love digital products, but I wouldn't be able to sustain myself just on those. Um, the the genius or the philosophy behind this is if you're talking to someone who already has been part of your world and has given you their credit card, it's much easier for them to buy the higher ticket thing. But it always acts like that. I wouldn't create a product that has no link to the high ticket offer. I used to, but the conversion, like, oh, I bought these hooks or I bought this prompt. It's like, yeah, but how does that relate to the big thing? And it would create like, I mean, it wasn't congruent to the entire thing. Now I've sort of gotten rid of all those products that I was exploring a year or two ago, and I only directly sell like those that are part of the bigger thing.
For me, I have I love Notion, right? So I just have a simple company wiki. Hey, mission, vision, values, lead gen, content, blah, 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 right? Like all these things. And so I just take conversations I have with clients or if something I want to build anyway, because there is an element of like, I'm the version that my clients want to become type stuff, right? So if I want to do it, then I can build it, that kind of stuff. Anyways, I tend to like put it in the wiki first. Like I'll like for instance, I've been hammering on VSLs these last couple of weeks, like video sales letter. And so my thought process is, okay, I know this is a need for the clients. It's also a need for me. And I invested some cash to make sure I like did it well with someone who's more experienced in that sort of stuff because I can create a really watchable VSL. I started at like the wiki level. So I'll just create a Notion page in the wiki and then it starts slowly transforming into, okay, what are my problems? And then I just like package the Notion page and put a
Nice.
price on it, right? Or I use it as like comment this word for ManyChat and Instagram or whatever. And like that seems to work pretty well because it's already part of my core service offering. Like think of it as like a lesson inside of the school community, right? I'm executing it live, which is kind of my angle is like, yo, I'm building as I go, the whole build in public thing. And then I can just be like, this is what it is. This is what I'm doing it for. If you need help with this, that makes the logical like, hey, and ironically, it's kind of meta, and then I'll just send them to the VSL. Here's how the model works, the autonomy model works. I mess around with two VSLs in the last like 10 days because I really, really want to nail it because I'm like, this will be, if everything flows here, I think that makes me a lot of money. And so I'm like, full iterate, put it live, test it, put it live, take it down, test it, whatever. Um, but even just in the last like 2 weeks with a tiny audience, the lead magnets have committed or have turned into like 35 views for an unlisted YouTube video, which means they could have only gotten there through lead magnet stuff, right? Which with my tiny audience, and I'm like still testing and not like, this is absolutely proven. I'm like, oh, damn, okay. So people actually consume the thing and get to the bottom because the link is at the bottom. It's the only way to get it.
Yeah, so they had to have gone down your rabbit hole, shown the intention, and then clicked, right? It's not like it's at the top. So, I mean, 35 was funny. Was it you that I told the other day? Had a video with 78 views that got a client, and it was very contrary to what I'm used to seeing. I was like,
I
man,
love
this
that
is
though.
insane. Like, I love this stuff because I've just also gone a bit more down the path that I enjoy the most. I'm like, I'm done talking broadly. I'm going to talk to, people that are interested in funnels and things that I enjoy and whatever. And I mean, the dad funnel to sort of add to what you just said is the same canvas as your Notion, where I'm like, well, this is what the foundation is. And if I'm doing something or someone asks, I'm just going to add to it. And it
Yeah.
was this sort of, I mean, it still is a live, ongoing, living, breathing project that doesn't have an off button. Because I'm like, oh, there, you can add this and that and this and that. But I recorded a video off the cuff just explaining what this now looks like. I'm like, hey, similar to you,
Yeah.
this is what my canvas looks like, only it's not an ocean board, it's a bunch of things glued together.
Yeah.
And I didn't tell anyone, I just put it out there on YouTube, like no promo. And somehow, I don't know how the algo works. I haven't figured that out yet.
Seriously, you and me both. We're working on it though. We're
Yeah.
working on it. Yeah, yeah.
But it got that. And then somebody who with 60,000 Instagram followers, like a huge YouTube channel, like messages me on Instagram, asks me questions and buys the high ticket straight. Didn't know I
Straight.
had LinkedIn, nothing. And I was like, dude, that was a kindergarten level doodle, like on the same Remarkable that we use. It blew my mind because I was like, I've never had something, at least for the last few years, in the 78 view realm. But I would take that any day over anything that's in the whatever, 300 like 10,000 view realm
Yeah.
on LinkedIn.
Yeah, you can almost think of the vehicle of it because I think we're both very committed to YouTube, but it's like it just checks so many boxes because what you just described, right? It doesn't have to have a billion views, but that's like the whole essence of what I call honey content, right? You're breaking down a concept that is absolutely just like that's why I call it honey content. It's sticky and sweet to the one type of person who needs it. Okay, they're very inclined to buy, or at the very least, they are like, oh, okay, I really like this message. Now let me do some research on Jacob Pegg's, legit, whatever. And then they watch more videos, or they go to your LinkedIn or whatever, and then they, the buyer's journey initiates. But I think what's interesting that I really like with it too is that those low view counts is one thing. I have not gotten anywhere close to mastering short form content. And I think a lot of other people, they master short form content and then YouTube is hard. I'm like the reverse. And then, so to me, it's like that's actually more fun because when the right person hears it, they have a lot of intent and may buy, may go deeper, whatever it may be. And that's all you can really ask for. It's kind of like, what's the next yes? Yeah. I feel like that is something for me being a little bit further behind than you in terms of like coaching offers and that kind of stuff is going to help propel me to get better at short form content, leaning on what you do well and collecting cash to help change lives and help get outcomes and that sort of stuff with lower numbers. And then you can be like, oh, okay, I can pull this switch and speak to a wider market. But I agree. I think the narrow focus on, hey, you're this person in this market, in this niche, you have this problem. Let me just doodle how I solve it.
Yeah, and that's all it is. And you hit a really, really nice point there because somebody who's going to follow long form, number one, it wipes out anyone who's like a scripted person or AI or whatever. And nothing against scripts or AI, but it shows who actually has the knowledge. Because, like, you and I have been chatting almost on a weekly basis for 2 years, and we're just now starting to record finally. But we would chat for hours and hours and hours and hours on end, and that's, really good and shed so much value that we've probably lost
Mm-hmm.
somewhere in the internet universe. But you can tell those people apart that can't hold that conversation. So that's a good thing for people like ourselves who want to increase that depth. Also, all these ideas and all this brainstorming that can only happen in long form, there's
Mm-hmm.
certain amounts of people like what I'm seeing, which I mean is not rocket science, is it would take us, and it has probably 3,000 posts, maybe that's overblown, but let's say 400 or 500 posts, someone to get to know you, versus somebody watching this exact video for an hour or half an hour or whatever that's going to be. They already see the body language and all the things you touched on earlier. So they get to know you so much faster. Even if it's one view, that one view in my eyes is almost like an email subscriber.
A view that watches to the end? Absolutely. Yeah. No, and we had talked about this too. It's like, what is YouTube in general? It is an absolute like trust creator. You know what I mean? If you do it right. Obviously, you can go full on script and hey, here's what you're doing. And trust me, I'm like absolutely neck deep in this stuff, researching VSLs, and you're like, oh man, people are making big promises and that kind of stuff. But it's like it's good to know. But I think the reason maybe both of us resonated with this idea of like, yeah, we're already having these conversations, why not just record it, is because I think we're both secure in like the value we bring and being ourselves and enjoying that bit. That if someone wants to work with us, like the last thing they need for us to do is to tell them, here's why they should. Like they'll know. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So just so everybody knows, if you don't know who Jacob is, he has Modern Maker. Get involved, right? For the sake of we're gonna put this on YouTube and all that is if you're watching this right now, like I don't have any intents and purposes of being like, oh man, I really hope they buy my thing at the end of this. What I hope is that they're like, I really enjoyed spending that 45 minutes with these two because it made my day better and they're like modeling what's possible. And yeah, maybe I'll want to work with them or whatever. But at the very least, it's like, hey, let me just kind of see why are they carrying themselves this way? They seem pretty lighthearted. They seem like they're enjoying each other's company. I don't have that in my life right now. How do I get it? You know, that kind of stuff. And you laid it perfectly. It's like we've been doing this for 2+ years,
Yeah.
right?
And it's so amazing. Like one thing I always gather from different people think differently, right? And the way you do things has always helped me articulate more on the life perspective side as well, like focusing and productivity and time management and all of that, which wouldn't have happened if we didn't do this. Or maybe you look at some things that I do and you're like, oh, the pricing, the offer, whatever. It comes through that. And like I always used to leave going, you know what? That's pretty cool. Or that way. Or when you sort of go, actually, I'm very curious. whenever you send an email or an interaction or whatever, you always track the minutes. You're like, I'm going to take 3 minutes of your time, 5 minutes
Mm,
of your time. So
mm.
as a reader, I'm always like, oh, you know what? Let's have a rate. It's only 3 minutes. So I'm curious if there's a strategy behind that.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, it's always hard to get the exact minutes right at front end, and then you do it. But it kind of works on two levels, right? The first level is for me a challenge, and I'm way better. I would not say I'm good, but I'm way better at being more concise than I was even 6 months ago, right? Like that's been a personal challenge because I'm a freak and I just want to say things in the fewest words possible. And I'm not good at it yet, but it's constantly in the back of my mind. So putting the time limit on the front end is like how Colby, can you say all of what you just said in less than 3 minutes? Because that's the promise you made to this person right now. If it's behind the scenes and I'm doing my own stuff, I can always say what I want to say and then change the minutes on the front and publish it. But I try and kind of like hit that constraint. The other one, once it is published and put in front of people, and I would do this with surveys a lot, because I think one of the most underutilized business practices is just like surveying people without remorse at all. Just like absolutely ask people questions like you think is uncomfortable. Um, and so I would survey people all the time. Like I've sent thousands of them. And the one that kind of the framework that helped me get them submitted, like I was averaging 41% to cold traffic and like 63% to people who knew me in
Hmm.
terms of response rates, was here's exactly what this is in like 10 words or less. It takes 45 seconds. No, I'm not collecting your name, email, or phone number. And maybe at the end I'll be like, this is what your info will help me do. But if it got too long, I wouldn't include that. Here's what it's for. Here's how long it takes. No, I'm not taking this from you, as in like your personal identity. Clear beats clever every time, right? Like the longer you get with, say, a cold message to fill out a survey so I can collect data, the longer you get, the more desperate you sound.
Yeah, I mean, on that point, I've been doing that, learning from our conversations where you're like survey master. You're like, bang, anything I want to do within 24 hours, boom, I'm out. So I was like, I really dig the way, because you do it to me as well, and I fill them in
Oh,
with
okay.
big smiles. And so I was like, what happens if I go to my existing clients and just poll them, right? I don't need, I mean, they already know each other,
Yeah.
whatever. You've seen what I'm doing. I'm like, and all of a sudden, WhatsApp's like booming, and I'm getting the answers. So last week, for example, this stemmed from our convo. Like, I can't be bothered to do the whole survey setup, but the easiest, closest thing in principle, energetically to that is a WhatsApp poll.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see what they have. So I do the WhatsApp poll. 27 people respond. I create the product on the same day, and this week it's selling on my email list. And I'm like, oh my God, beautiful stories. But I got a survey, it blew my mind. I was like, there was literally no no's. So, okay, I know the clients and their needs. I did it today, a week later. I got 13 responses. So I was like, okay, last week's one was a lot more powerful. Maybe this one won't turn into a digital product. But it was literally that cycle when we started off with the dad funnel thing, like survey the internals, create the asset for them, package it up, write 7 emails, create more customers. Add one little sequence, send those customers to clients in case they want to work. And then today I got fidgety and I was like, add a second option. So you can grab the product or you can join Modern Maker at the same price as you would have bought it once off.
And maybe you've done this already, but I'm having like this clear vision because yeah, I'm in the WhatsApp group and I see the votes and all that sort of
Mm-hmm.
stuff. So I think there's psychological levels being played here. You might be doing this already, but I see you so being able to leverage that individual, like you screenshot the submissions. Hey, 27 yeses, zero nos. So what does this tell us? This tells us A, herd mentality, because
Yes.
like the people do not want to stand out, especially if we're talking like under 2 grand. They want to follow the herd, right?
Yeah.
So if you're like, okay, maybe somebody of those 27 people thought, no, I don't need this. but they saw 20 other people say yes. So like, I'm gonna say yes too. Right. So there's that. But like, you could almost screenshot that and put that in the marketing materials, the front ends. Hey, here's a herd, and these people are getting X result, and I did this 24 hours later, and now you put it on the front end and be like, yeah, it's ready to go.
Yeah, like one thing I did, I thought a little further. So, well, two things. One was try to get a no this time. So I'm like, if you say no, I'll still love you and I'll ask you in private and blah, blah, blah. And on school, I got two no's. So I was like, okay, that is so much more genuine as survey data.
Yeah.
The second thing I did was I took the 27 yeses. I was like, okay, what problem am I solving in this case was an offer and then getting a client, whatever. I
Yeah.
went back to school in the search tab and I found all the wins and all the people doing exactly that from like a week ago. And I used that basically market my marketing. But I was like, this is so meta, right? You're like
Yeah.
from A to Z in terms of the funnel in a matter of 24 hours. So then I'm thinking, how many more surveys, how many more things don't you know? Um,
Dude,
but
literally.
again,
Yeah.
yeah, stemmed from this.
It's literally like you're giving them the dishwasher. Like, hey, your problem is dirty dishes. Okay, first we're gonna deliver the dishwasher, then we're gonna install it, then you're gonna run it. And if you have a dirty dish, not only is it gonna clean it, it's gonna sterilize it, it's gonna dry it, right? Like all that kind of like you're just saying, hey, here are all these steps. It's all in this one thing, right? But it's like because because it's so convenient and because everybody knows they need one, you're just like proving over and over. It's very like push button with proof. Hey,
Yeah,
I
and if
built
you
this.
want it, it's here. Here's the manual, basically.
I guess what I was circling with that analogy is like it's all in one place. And it's kind of, what I'm doing with the wiki as well. That it's literally like, why would I think about creating a low ticket product when I'm already going to be teaching something inside the community and I can just either pull the entire thing if it's short enough or just pull a tiny piece from that and be like, boom. And having a GPT that creates GPTs is an example from 2 weeks ago. I called it the GPT captain, and everyone's like, "This is
Awesome.
great," blah blah blah, right? But what am I going to be doing tomorrow when we have our group call? I'm going to be like, "Tell me what you created," because if you think it's great on the front end and then you don't act, I need to figure out why. Yeah.
Yeah, so then you're basically human surveying now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. That's what you've been doing. Are you just gonna see that till the end for the next couple of weeks and just keep testing, or what's your plan upcoming?
Yeah, I mean, it is October, it's Halloween, we got Black Friday, so I'm brewing little bits and pieces, as usual every year, trying to make the best out of these little injections, if you like. So then come
Yeah.
Christmas and whatever. I like these cushions, so I'm planning little bits and pieces there. But mostly it's optimizing this little funnel. I'm stepping into the scary world of ads a little more intensely come October. Well,
Word.
end of October, like finalizing this to see, you know me, I'm like nerding out on bits and pieces, but I will let you know how that goes. Because once I do that, I'm going to do exactly what we said. I'm going to package it up and
Yeah.
say, do you want these templates, these flows, these things? The dad funnel is for sale, DIY. And what do? We add support. We add, whatever layers of proximity upwards. You,
You're gonna ads to a product or to like a video sales letter, or
I'm
what's
thinking of productizing it because I love the whole funnel as a concept. How many other dads or mums or just people who want to buy back their time are out there? And
yeah,
then doing the classic, like here's a book version or a DIY, like mini video series product.
yeah,
And then if you want to DWY it, coaching, if you want it done for you, install and play with that for a bit. It's been a bigger project than I anticipated, but it's because it has so many moving parts. To try to teach someone else to do it is the hard part, but it's so far so good.
yeah. And that kind of circles back to the done for you thing, I think, right? So it's one of those things where there's more opportunity than ever if you can, so long as you can lead with the human side, the deliverable side, because I feel like that's problems we're solving with my clients all the time is they just come from this deliverable heavy world where it's like we've got more stuff or we're going to deliver more stuff in less time than the other guy. And it's kind of like that is getting less and less valuable by the day because all that stuff you could deliver quickly. AI can do it in, one hundredth or one thousandth of the time. And so it's more of like kind of the co-creation journey. Yeah, we'll install like done. I feel like a perfect example of done for you is if you were to run ads for your clients as an example, say you master that and then you're like, I'll help you with ads, is actually like writing an ad script because that's a human saying something. So even though it's a deliverable, it's got the human element of human words to human consumption.
I'm excited to dive deeper into this sort of convo. Maybe next time we get more in depth, I
Let's
want
do
to
it.
hear. We'll create a part two. It seems like there's a part two. I want to know all about your little goodie bag antics and stuff next time.
It's not as focused as you think just yet. I'm in very much like doing a bunch of stuff in the dark, and then it will just kind of feel like this massive like boom
Mm,
uh, to the public. Right now, I'm Oppenheimer like assembling the component pieces.
yeah, yeah.
So
No, that's good. Well,
yeah.
it was a pleasure.
Likewise, buddy. Always good to see you. Glad you're healthy. Glad the family's good. And yeah, we'll see you in the next one, eh?
Yeah, awesome, man. Good to see you.
See ya.